A live shot of House Commerce this morning. In just under an hour, T-Mobile's John Legere and Sprint's Marcelo Claure, as David said, will testify and defend their $26 billion merger. The two will argue that joining their companies will not hurt competition or jack up consumer prices for wireless service, but rather do the opposite, as they can better compete with AT&T, Verizon, and cable companies, they say. Earlier this morning, Legere, who appears to be on a treadmill, tweeted this out.
In about 2 hours, I'm looking forward to going up to Congress and having a great discussion about the Sprint T-Mobile merger and the new T-Mobile and why it's critical for America and great for competition. But for now, you gotta work out. Gotta get in shape.
So we'll see where it goes. But there's plenty of lines of questioning within, even in their opening statements.
I think, apropos of the China situation, we don't want the Chinese ahead of us in 5G. That's what they're...
And they're focused on that, as we've known. They've been focused on that since day one of the announcement of the deal, which was, what, April 29th, I guess, of last year. Remember, if you want to, by the way, do the math, 9.75 Sprint shares for each T-Mobile share, or you can reverse it. But the question has always been, 4 going to 3 in an industry, will that be something the Department of Justice, the staff of DOJ, can allow? Typically in our country, that has not been something, particularly when T-Mobile has been the price leader. And since AT&T was prevented in 2011 from buying it, many at the DOJ certainly would say, hey, look what we were able to do. We were able to drive prices down as a result of not allowing that deal to occur. T-Mobile had great success over that period of 7 to 8 years, driving prices down, forcing Verizon and AT&T to go to unlimited, forcing so many different things that were beneficial to consumers. That's what they're trying to overcome with, as Jim said, the idea of national security and 5G. In his opening statement here, Legere's all about delivering 5G and significant value and benefits. Also does say rural customers, how important being able to service them and how much better they are going to service they're going to be able to receive as a result of this deal, and even goes into the idea of not just delivering broadband via 5G, but cord cutting, enabling people to say, I don't need, and we'll get to dish numbers later, I don't need my satellite, I don't need, if they have cable in those areas, I can cut it because I now have a 5G alternative that brings me video as well at a level and a price that I like. So he's talking about savings for people at home, particularly rural areas, as a result of 5G being able to compete, not just with broadband, but with video, and of course on the national security front, and saying that prices and service will actually be better.
The stock is signaling that the deal does get done, which is rather different from what it was about 2 months ago. My favorite line, because John's so funny, I didn't see the magenta shirt, but he goes, let me be clear. We do not use Huawei or ZTE network equipment. Was someone saying that?
No, I don't necessarily believe so, but they want to make sure people understand that. They're talking about job creation, something else that they know is important. But listen, you're going to still continue to have people who just say, your numbers 3 and 4, we've got 4 players going to 3. How could that possibly be anything but bad for consumers in terms of the price they pay for conceivably what's the most important bill they still pay every month?
I know. I was there the day at the cable, remember the cable conference where AT&T launched the bid for Sprint?
Yeah.
And everyone in the room, in the back room, was saying, well, this would be the most anti-competitive thing I've seen. And they go out there and say, hey, you know what, it's not bad. No, this is very anti-competitive. That's what should determine it.
Well, wireless services have not been the focal point of inflation to begin with. Right? They've been the opposite. Yellen called it out a couple of years ago.
Look, we know that you can't get in a room and fix price. It's Portland cement. We can't do that. But I do think that you can signal. Remember the airlines when they signal? I'm concerned about signaling.
Now, another point that they, I don't know that they've made it specifically, is, well, will Sprint be in financial jeopardy if it's allowed to, if it's not allowed to? People don't believe that. They think that Sprint will sort of stumble along. It will never obviously be the company that Massa, when he initially bought that control position years ago, thought it would be, because he thought he could engineer this T-Mobile deal then. But it's unclear to me whether it's going to. I mean, Marcelo Claure did do a lot of things that were positive there while he was running, and he's now moved on.
I know, but
essentially kind of become the number 2 at SoftBank.
He tweets like a Nobel Prize winner. It's good, he's tweeting, but I have to tell you, my principal reason why I would favor this is 5G versus the rest of the world. But then the second is, you can't let Sprint go. That would be a disaster. That would be three players the wrong way.